Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. We start tonight with some breaking news. One person is dead after a house fire in North Spokane. The Spokane Fire Department responded to a fire on West Elmhurst Avenue earlier tonight. Fire officials said the majority of the fire was coming from the garage, but a lot of smoke filled the entire house. They also said at one point an explosion was heard, but they don't know if the explosion started the fire or happened because of the fire. Crews say they did find one person dead inside the house. Officials say no one else was injured. That fire is under investigation tonight. We are told to expect more information in the coming days. Well, there was a major day on the Republican primary calendar come and gone. We now know the results of Super Tuesday, who swept and who didn't quite get the votes. We are breaking it all down coming up in just about 10 minutes. And caught on camera, take a look at this. A moment in Bellevue, Washington tonight that had neighbors reaching for their phones when a plane fell out of the sky above their homes. Fortunately, as you can see, that plane had its own parachute, which saved the lives of the two people inside. No one on the ground was injured either. An incredible scene. All right, let's talk weather. A gorgeous day across the inland Northwest, and the good news is it won't be the last. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Jeremy the Goo. Jeremy, we started on kind of a cold and even snowy note this morning, but that gave way to sunshine today.
Yeah, and even better, we've got more of that sunshine in the days to come, but those temperatures, they're dropping. We're looking at another cold one tomorrow morning, and we already fell into the 20s. Dew point at 21 says we're going to keep falling all night long. We likely fall down to near 20, if not into the teens across much of the inland Northwest. Clear skies dominate the forecast. Not much to show you here, so let's talk the overall weather pattern. 21 tomorrow morning, 41 by the afternoon, 22 Thursday, 42 by the afternoon. You kind of get the picture. Friday, we wake up cool, but building clouds come with a warm up. We're going to be in the upper 40s by the end of the day, and over the weekend, even warmer, but we've got the chance of rain returning to the forecast.
All right, sounds good, Jeremy. I'll check back in with you later in the broadcast. Now to our night beat with a quick look at today's top stories. The trial for the former Idaho State police trooper accused of killing his wife continued today. The defendant, Daniel Howard, claims his wife shot herself, but prosecutors say they can prove he was responsible for Kendi Howard's death. The state spent most of the day trying to establish that Kendi was not suicidal based on the plan she was making once their divorce was finalized, including buying a house to be closer to her family and her new boyfriend. That boyfriend testified today and described a moment days before her death where Kendi felt like Howard was going to kill her. The next morning, she left and went to her hometown. Her boyfriend told her not to go back. Here was her response.
She said to me, she said, she's scared to go back. She goes, but he knows now. He knows now. He almost got caught. He got caught. He's not, her words were, he's not dumb enough to try that or anything like that again because he was caught.
Also today, testimony from a neighbor of Kendi and her husband. He told the jury Howard made several statements in the past that he knew how to cover up a murder. Tonight, westbound I-90 is moving once again after a major crash backed up traffic for miles at around 6 tonight. You can see how slow traffic was moving as that sun went down today. Washington State Patrol told us the crash was a hit and run involving 3 cars. Troopers were able to track down the driver in Airway Heights. He has been charged with DUI. We also learned people were taken to the hospital. We are not sure how many were injured or how severely. Spokane leaders may declare a public health crisis with overdose rates on the rise. Department from the Health Department shows between 2019 and 2022, Spokane County's overdose deaths for all drugs jumped 185%. In that same time period, deaths by synthetic opioids skyrocketed 2,000%. A spokesperson for the mayor's office says a declaration would not open up additional funding, but other officials say even awareness could go a long way. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just head to our website. That's KREM.com. Well, tonight we are hearing from the Spokane Valley City Council member being investigated for allegedly offensive and hostile interactions with city staff. That investigation led the city manager to ask him not to come to City Hall except for council meetings. KREM 2's Cody Proctor went to tonight's City Council meeting. She is joining us now with what she found out. Cody?
Well, Mark, Councilmember Al Merkel's only been a part of the Spokane Valley City Council for about 2 months, but this investigation is just one of the latest incidents of his tenure. Tuesday night, Spokane Valley City Council meeting saw a decent crowd as City Manager John Homan read his statement about the investigation being done into Council Member Al Merkel about his interactions with city staff.
I can share the complaints pertain to allegations of offensive, hostile, or unwelcome interactions between Councilmember Merkel and city employees here at City Hall.
KREM 2 spoke with the councilman before the meeting to ask what he knew about the investigation. He told us he had no idea what the complaints could be about.
No staff member has ever come to me and reported anything to me, besides the first email that I received that there were quote-unquote complaints.
Merkel shared with KREM 2 emails between him and City Manager Homan from last week, with Homan asking if the council member would be available to talk about alleged incidents with city staff. Merkel agreed, writing to Homan if he could find out specifics such as details, dates, and names. The city manager emailed back saying, "We are not in a position to provide specifics at this time, and it would be best if Merkel only visited City Hall for council meetings." Merkel told KREM 2 he didn't really read into that email until the next day, when Homan emailed to thank him for agreeing to focus his City Hall visits to Tuesday evenings.
To clarify, at no time was Councilmember Merkel banned from City Hall. He was simply asked to voluntarily agree to limit his time in the building to protect all involved, including himself, while the investigation is being carried out.
Merkel says he's had few interactions with city staff, except during council meetings.
Before I even took office, we had an orientation in December, and during that orientation, he emphasized that I should not be initiating any conversations with staff except through him. And I have, as far as I know, listened to that request to the letter.
And right now, it's unclear how long the investigation will take. In the studio, Cody Proctor, KREM 2 News.
All right, Cody, thank you very much. As we near the start of spring, it'll soon be time once again to move our clocks ahead 1 hour. Sunday marks the start of daylight saving time, but several viewers have asked why we still have to change our clocks twice a year. Let's verify.
One thing that I think most people agree on, it's the dislike of moving their clocks backward and forward.
For decades now, we've been making the switch, moving our clocks ahead 1 hour in the spring and then back an hour in the fall. The time change comes despite Washington state lawmakers voting to make daylight saving time permanent. So why are we still doing it? Let's verify. Our sources are the Washington State Legislature and the National Conference of State Legislators. In 2019, Washington Governor Jay Inslee signed a bill to make daylight saving time permanent in the state. However, the law noted that under federal law, quote, states are not permitted to observe daylight saving time year-round. That's because of the Uniform Time Act passed back in 1966. The act gives states the ability to opt out of daylight saving time, but no option to stay on it without congressional approval.
So we've waited and waited and waited, and people are getting tired of the switch.
With no action from Congress, Washington State Senator Mike Patton of Spokane Valley introduced a bill that would ditch the switch, but with a twist.
So in lieu of not adopting the daylight time, we are going to permanent standard.
Patton's bill would have kept the state on standard time all year round, at least until Congress cleared the path for permanent daylight saving time.
So people can have some certainty in the time of the year. I mean, there have been studies that have connected several health problems with switching back and forth between standard and daylight time.
At a hearing in January, it was clear not all Washington lawmakers were on board with the idea.
In standard time, during the summer, our sunset would be 8:11 p.m. and daylight time right now in summer is 9:11 p.m. So we lose that hour.
I'd probably have a lot more support if it was daylight, being in agriculture, having those longer days during the time that we do our harvests and everything. We don't always get started as early in the mornings, and it helps to have those longer daylight hours.
We want to get rid of that switch, and maybe that'll encourage, and if these other states do something, maybe that'll encourage Congress. I don't know.
The bill failed to make it out of the short session. And so on Sunday, it'll be time once again to make the switch, moving your clocks ahead 1 hour. And Oregon lawmakers consider a similar bill that would have moved their state to permanent standard time, but only if Washington and California did the same thing. However, lawmakers killed the bill today, saying there just wasn't enough time left in the current session to consider it.